Family Leonardo, me Nasila did on multimedia, the CEO voice of Salone. Today I come for talk to now, my family, make una continue to subscribe to our YouTube channel and share to our friends them. As we always try to bring for the latest news what they happen around Salone, whether it be politics or any other news them, what they happen or gossip, what they bring out to live and direct. So please, my family, don't forget to subscribe and share to our friends them. You want to touch the bell icon so that you don't miss any video we will try for bring out to now. So that's also we want make una don't forget also for subscribe to we TikTok channel on TikTok and also on Facebook or Facebook page or the Voice of Salone or also the on Instagram Voice of Salone. Please family, and don't forget to share. Okay, thank you now. Tata.
Good morning, my Sierra Leonean friends and family. This is the Master Dream Builder. This is Reggie Cole. Today is Monday, 27th of October, 2025. Today, I get a very, very important message for Una today. I was talking to this Sierra Leone multi-millionaire in California. Wiboko Black Country. I see D Chiller in short TikTok clip again yesterday. And thank you, D Chiller. Thank you very much for that clip we put together of my talk on We Yard. We do, my brother. But the country, the environment is not ready for people like us. And that environment they want to create for let people like the guy in California, where don't be multimillionaire from way very, very young in the arts. And that man has a lot of history about Sierra Leone. Where they tell me about A. Jeanette, they tell me about Shaka Stevens. The man I know, they go to Shaka Stevens in room that didn't see don't talk safe. Good guy. When they talk yesterday, now I drop something at my speech. Me, I don't know if you know. Me, I put me hand up, I don't know. I say, I repeat. Me don't know if you know, but I put me hand up, I don't know. Now I'm going to be very, very careful. We're going to be introspective, not to hate. Not to hate. But you get to know your enemy. You get to know which is somebody, your adversary. I go see Thierry Henry. They tell me they watch football. Thierry Henry and David Beckham, then go party together. They go probably even do an advert together. They don't hate each other. But when Arsenal and Man United, when they play back then, when you get Sir Alex Ferguson and you get, I don't forget the guy named himself, his name I see in Facebook, his name don't forget me, Arsene Wenger. Yeah, Wenger come together. Also, they don't come for come party. This is time for dueling. This is time to show whose metal is better than the other. This is the position I'm trying to get you Sierra Leoneans to think about. So as I talked to this gentleman yesterday, he called me to talk to me. This was a parable. This is not true talk. Not true talk. Not true talk. It's a story of about a sheep. A sheep. Why would they go to water? Did you know that a sheep were then built in Germany in 1530? Where my neighbor down here in Hampton Court, King Henry VIII, just there 20 minutes from me now. Where now the Queen Elizabeth I, now in charter. Not so this one we just passed away, the one before. Now in charter, this ship. Yeah, my friends, they can't tell now, so it's disturbing. This ship was called Jesus. Yeah. When they listen me, me not Christian, I believe in Jesus. That's what Jesus do this, not human being do this. The ship was called Jesus. You know, say that one pan the ship the 9 and day, if not the first one. We go Salone, we go begin to take slaves on behalf of the English. The ship was called Jesus. That means the beginning of the English slave empire. Una the Erimi, Now this brand, you say, as iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen the wit of another. All them book that me don't read in this life, all the school where me don't go in this life, and not one day nobody ship. Before that army start, we know about. We don't know nobody what we call Jesus. They come carrying chains, not Bibles. Carry captive, not converts. And on the decks of that ship began one of the darkest economic systems ever designed by mankind. Let me play you a little bit of that story. I will come back.
Welcome back to Fact Zone Africa. Today, we're diving into a dark and often overlooked chapter of history, the story of how Africans were lured into the first slave ship, the Jesus of Lubeck, also known as the Good Ship Jesus. From the twisted dealings of John Hawkins to the gruesome realities of the English slave exchange triangle, we'll uncover how this ship set sail on a journey that changed history forever. Let's dive in. In the mid-16th century, a ship named the Jesus of Lubeck became infamous for its role in the transatlantic slave trade. Originally built in the 16th century as a warship for the Hanseatic League, this vessel was later sold to England's King Henry VIII, who transformed it into a cargo ship. However, its most notorious captain, John Hawkins, would redefine its legacy. John Hawkins, an English naval commander, merchant, and one of the first slave traders in England, was not your typical sea captain. He had strong ties to the English crown, and even received the unofficial support of Queen Elizabeth I. Hawkins cleverly used his royal connections and financial backing to initiate England's entry into the slave trade. This would be the beginning of an insidious and lucrative business that spanned centuries. Hawkins's business plan was straightforward but brutal. Sail to West Africa, capture or purchase African men, women, and children, and then sell them in the New World. With the promise of European goods such as textiles, guns, and alcohol, Hawkins and his crew manipulated local African chiefs into trading their own people, often prisoners of war, or those who were kidnapped from rival tribes. The
textiles, guns, and alcohol. Things away finish in a few moments. Just like what they do right now. For a bit of Land Cruiser, for a bit of this, we sell our own people and down the river. We got to cut this tier so now we DNA. We have to. Let's keep going.
The Jesus of Lubeck became one of the first English ships to engage in this inhumane trade. Hawkins' strategy relied on deceit, exploiting the desperation and complex socio-political dynamics of the African coast. His infamous voyages marked the beginning of England's involvement in what would later become the Atlantic slave trade. The English slave exchange triangle, also known as the triangular trade, was a complex network that fueled the growth of European economies at the expense of African lives. Ships like the Jesus of Lubeck sailed from England with manufactured goods, which were traded on the West African coast for enslaved people. From there, these captives were transported to the Americas under horrific conditions, where they were sold as slaves. The ships would then return to England with raw materials like sugar, tobacco, and cotton, completing the triangle. This system was meticulously designed to maximize profit. Each leg of the journey generated immense wealth, all built on the suffering and exploitation of enslaved Africans. The Jesus of Lubeck was one of the early vessels in this grim cycle, marking the start of a trade that would see millions of Africans forcibly removed from their homeland.
Silver light, horizon in sight.
The final journey of the Jesus of Lubeck was marked by disaster. During one of Hawkins' later voyages, the ship was involved in a conflict with the Spanish. The English fleet, including the Jesus of Lubeck, found itself trapped in the Mexican port of San Juan de Ulua. Betrayed by their Spanish counterparts, a bloody battle ensued. The Jesus of Lubeck, heavily damaged and unable to escape, was abandoned. Many of Hawkins' men were captured or killed, and Hawkins himself barely escaped with his life. The ship that once symbolized England's ruthless entry into the slave trade was now reduced to a wreck, a fitting end for a vessel stained by the horrors of human trafficking.
Yes. Now there, true story. We me land yesterday. You may know that. You may know say the first ship where England sent to we for can take we brothers and sisters them, we grandpa them. Let me call on Jesus. You see, I'm sorry to tell you, these people have been deceptive their whole lives when it comes to dealing with us black people. You heard the facts. That ship they financed by the king and the queen, captained by John Hawkins, blessed by a queen, sailed to our own coast, Sierra Leone, with a cross on her stern and shackles in her hull. Hawkins Soka alone, it carried guns, gin, and greed. Then trade human beings for European goods, the same thing that they do today. Teaching African chiefs to trade flesh for fabric, life for liquor. And when the voyage ended, England was richer and Africa was poorer. These people will never be our friends. The good ship Jesus became the prototype of exploitation, disguised as partnership. You remember I can tell about development partners? Who's development? And 5 centuries later, the model still sails. Not in a wooden ship now, 5 centuries, over 500 years now, but as an economic system. Imagine it. Sierra Leone, a ship named after the Son of God, sailing our shores, the Kana Atlantic Ocean yonder, the Kana Lumley Beach, the Kana that place, which they call them, Bones Island, capturing, we picking them in Jesus' name. They prayed to Jesus whilst enslaving Africans. Then quote the Bible whilst branding black bodies with iron. They sang hymns of mercy while loading our ancestors as cargo. That is the root of Western hypocrisy. A system that uses religion, diplomacy, and now aid to sanctify control. First, they encourage chains. Then they bring the Bible. Now they carry briefcase in private jets. The instrument changes, but the purpose remains the same. Control the African mind and control the African economy. The Jesus of Lubeck no longer sails our shores, but in spirit they are alive. In IMF loans, foreign consultants, in donor-funded ministries that write our national budget. We own country, national budget, and we get the gall for say we're a sovereign state. We don't replace the slave ship with loan agreements. We don't replace physical chains with economic dependency. We no longer sell people directly, but we sell our land, our mines, our fisheries, and our future. Then call our aid. But look carefully. Aid is the new anchor that keeps Africa from moving. Then they fund with survival, not our sovereignty. When you get a country like Sierra Leone, 64 years later, for let we get census, now Europe get for fund them. For let we get election, now Europe get for fund them. My friends, that's not sovereignty. That's called dependency, not development. Salone, they receive aid worth hundreds of millions every year, yet poverty deepens. Kids are dying of kush on the streets. Young ladies are prostituting themselves. The ones that would raise the next generation are now prostitutes. That's what they are. We call it for what it is. Not slave queen, now one word. Prostitute is quite the word we're looking for. Industries are non-die. Youth and they migrate. Temple run. This is not partnership. That is paternalism. A modern plantation where we work and they count and we clap. True freedom, my brothers and sisters, is not political independence at all. It's proven. We don't get 27th of April 1961, we get political independence. But until you're economically free, you're not free at all, even in personal life. It is economic independence that you need, because a flag without finance is just fabric in the wind. When the West ended slavery, they didn't stop exploiting Africa, they just changed the method. They moved from the ship to the system, from the whip to wire transfer, from slave trader to donor. And we, the descendants, and I am a descendant of the enslaved, became the descendants of the indebted. That our currencies fall, our debts rise, and our governments wait for approval before making a national decision, such as when do we have an election. They can't make that decision because they need the money to make the decision. That's not sovereignty, my friend. That is subservience. Contrast that with Asia. When Deng Xiaoping rebuilt China, humble himself, go learn from Lee Kuan Yew when we get a smaller country, when we get a younger independence. He said, Bobo, you don't move past me. Oh. Now this Salone people not able to do within themselves. Everybody wants, okay, you people are now the blogger circuit. Hey, now me force me, no. Now me force me announce something. Now me force me do this. What? I don't care if you're not force 20, whatever. Can we just move forward to solving the problem? You know? So he go meet Lee Kuan Yew. He said, I'm not too proud to beg. Oh. He said, but I can't study you success where you don't begin get. Because we the next door, so you don't say, oh, we'll not get no success. We'll get more people past you. We'll get more opportunities past you. Teach me how to make my people rich. Now, I ain't get you call, they can't teach you now. Every day now, so where I can at this mic. Yes. They teach you now how would they get Salone from 4 billion to 120 billion. From 4 billion to $100 billion GDP in 120 months. That's 10 years. Lee taught him. But the man, not to teach no more than for teach you, for listen, for be adaptable. I loved it when my friends and mentor, Jim and Betta Fraccaroli, in 2014, yes, then come visit me in the United Kingdom. I go church, I come, I picked her up now, host now, go to go up then I Heathrow, when they go back after a week, when they enjoy with me, go to the offices there all and everything else. They left until they reduced me to tears when I came home. Because I mean, get me study na the farm, na casualty, I mean, get me study right in the back. So when I don't go to go up there, I come back now. Now I can't sit down and me study for look, computer check waiting to go on. Now I see on the big whiteboard where I'm getting. They say, Reg, your success is not a surprise to us. You were the best student we had in our organization. My man, where people in the teach, we get the fruits on the tree. You need to learn and stop fighting. You need to open your mind, open your ears, open your eyes, and learn. Learn. That's what I did with Dexter, Fred, Jerry, Bill, Jim and Betta. That's what I did. Right? So Lee teach this man. He said, listen, state-owned industries, strategic capitalism, a proactive government, and an efficient market. That's what you need. Today, China, they fund its own destiny. 19 trillion dollars GDP. $19 trillion GDP. Okay? Now, when they started, they get 2 million people. Middle class. Today, 800 million people in middle class. Listen to what they say. The combined population that are bottom class, middle class, top class of the Europe and the United States comes to 850 million. China gets middle class alone. Not to the top or not to the bottom. Middle class alone, they get 800 million people. They have 2 million people serving in their army. 2 million souls. They serve in the army every day. Like what they talk to right now and don't turn up for work. But they get 300 million reserves. I can't mess, boo. So today, China funds its own destiny. Its roads, bridges, and railways are built by its own companies, owned by the states, powered by its own citizens. While Sierra Leone waits for the next grant, China, they print their own checks. That is the difference between dependence and discipline. Dependency has stolen everything that matters. We confidence, we pikin them, we youth them. We export raw minerals for pennies, then import finished goods for pounds. We mine gold, yet buy smartphones made from our own coltan. We sell fish to Europe and import canned sardines from Asia. This is insanity and it must end. And it will end under this $100 billion GDP plan. This $100 billion GDP plan is not just economics, it's our second independence. It's the ultimate independence that you're craving because, like I say, without economic independence, there is no independence. Under this plan, Salone Capital Holdings will own and manage all the key sectors: mining, energy, agriculture, telecoms, the ports. Each district, indeed, will have their own district CEO accountable for profit, loss, and production. A national wealth fund like Singapore's Temasek will reinvest profits into schools, healthcare, industry, and international investments. Then Sierra Leoneans will no longer go big for aid. We will fund our own development. We have it from the profits of our own resources. This is how we break dependency. This is how we turn slaves into shareholders. The triangle, Africa, Europe, the Americas, built the West. Today, information on the hide, sugar, tobacco, cotton, all traded on African blood. The same ports that sold our ancestors now host the banks that lend to our governments. The system never ended. It just changed uniform. That's why we must build a new triangle: production, ownership, and prosperity inside Sierra Leone itself. When Queen Elizabeth I blessed the good ship Jesus, she baptized exploitation. Today, when the IMF and World Bank approve a new loan, they baptize dependency. Both preach morality while practicing control. Both claim to uplift while enriching themselves. Both exploit the word help to justify hegemony. Every loan comes with a leash. Every grant comes with a governor. Every partnership comes with a puppet master. Sierra Leone must say enough, and under this $100 billion GDP plan, that's when enough begins. Enough of the good ship, enough of the good words, enough of the bad deals. Real partnership is not aid, it's equity. It is mutual profit, not perpetual debt. If the West wants to do business with Sierra Leone, they must come in as investors looking for a return, not ownership, and not instructors. Under this $100 billion GDP plan, we will not sign away our sovereignty in exchange for capacity building. Our ancestors built pyramids before Europe built cathedrals. We forged iron before they discovered steam. We're not poor. We're robbed daily under the banner of aid, and we have the same munku people that women sell for gin and tobacco. Their own brothers and sisters, it's that their descendants are the same munku, they not in DNA. They did that in DNA, then they worship with man, then they afraid with man, then they tremble, they're munku, they're uncivilized, they're village boys, they're house boys. That's one Papa Sheki, Minister Pikin and Koluna. That's what you call Una. So you're the house boys, and you're nothing but house boys. That's what you are. You will never change. You will never grow. You're not capable. Accept your position in life. You're house boys. Did you hear that? The good ship Jesus sank in battle, destroyed by the same greed that launched it. And that, my people, is how unjust system ends. It eats itself, just like way predatory capitalism. They eat the United Kingdom right now, and they eat the United States right now. Predatory capitalism. You don't get them. Privatization is the big architect of this downfall of the West. Let that be our sign, because if we do not break from dependency, we will sink with it. So the question is simple. Do we keep on sailing on the good ship Jesus, worshiping our captors and calling it corporation? Or do we build our own ship and sing our own song, like UB40 says? Our own industries, our own capital, and our own destiny. Because dependency is not destiny, it's a disease. And Sierra Leone will either cure it or die by it. We're very, very close now to the end. We're third from bottom in the world. We're the most unhappy country on planet Earth. Look at that. We can no longer depend on the same West that enslaved us, indebted us, and now lecture us about governance. We will take their technology, but not their terms. We will take their expertise, but not their exploitation. We will trade, but we will never kneel. Not under this $100 billion GDP plan. Una, give me good luck and build this country. Let the good ship Jesus remain a museum piece, a warning to the world, because this time the voyage ends differently. No more chains, no more dependency, no more deception in the name of development. From this day forward, Sierra Leone must depend only on what God gave her: minerals, people, land, and vision. And when we unite those four pillars under one plan, the $100 billion GDP plan, we would reclaim our dignity, rebuild our nation, and prosper beyond imagination. The world may doubt us, but the world once doubted China. It once doubted Singapore. It once doubted Rwanda. It once doubted Namibia. Once doubted Botswana. But look at two them people and they. I know say you Sierra Leonean who say this in a Salone right now, you go swap your living condition for any one of them countries that they were don't call. They were all behind just only recently. When Akiwa know how far black man don't come, or how close or how long them people don't take. I remember that my brother, we born 1965. In 1965, black man and white man of the Sudan at the same place now, America. Can you imagine? My brother, we me in the jam. Black man. Can you see how long these people have kept us enslaved? The world may doubt us, but the world once doubted China, as I say. Yet the same God who saw our ancestors shackled on the good ship Jesus will now see their children rise. Because you see, God's first word to mankind is go and dominate. And somehow, somewhere, we know read that part today. We ancestors. Then go straight to Matthew, what do you call ourselves? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Then forget. The word said go and dominate. We sit up. We're constantly being dominated. But the master dream builder don't present to now this beautiful bigly plan, the $100 billion GDP plan that will set you free. Talking about freedom, let's go into it and let's hear some song. I'll come back and say goodbye.
Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. Freedom, freedom, where are you? 'Cause I need freedom too. I break chains about myself. Won't let my freedom rot in hell. Hey, I'ma keep running 'cause the winner don't quit on themselves. I'm telling these tears go fall away, oh, may the last one burn into flames. Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. Freedom, freedom, where are you? 'Cause I need freedom too. I break chains about myself. Won't let my freedom rot in hell. Hey, I'ma keep on running 'cause the winner don't quit on themselves.
Sierra Leoneans, I am telling you, there is no way forward economically without this plan in my duffel bag. I guarantee you, I want to challenge any minister from any party, any president, any waiting president, can present to the people a better plan. There is no plan like this $100 billion GDP plan. This is the only plan that will set Sierra Leone free. For let's Sierra Leoneans, they realize the potential that is within this great country called Sierra Leone. 44 minerals, 7 riverways, natural harbor, predictable weather, arable land, fertile soil, 70% youth unemployment. This country is ready to grow. Una komotla, we can build this country. God bless you. God bless the Republic of Sierra Leone. Have a great week.